Jesus, more often than not, when he was hanging out with his disciples, asked questions that he already knew the answer to, just to see where the disciples were at and what their response to him would be. So one day he's out for a walk with the disciples, and he says to them, "Hey, who do people say that I am?" And some responses that he get are, some say you're the prophet Elijah, some say you are John the Baptist. But then he goes straight to the heart and he says, "But tell me this, who do you say I am?" And Peter looks at him, and Peter says, "You are the Christ. You are the Messiah. You're the Son of God." In that moment, Peter has a revelation of the person of Jesus Christ. He's actually standing in front of God himself. The Apostle Paul writes in Colossians that the Son, Jesus, is the image of the invisible God. And so Peter has this revelation that he is standing in front of the person of God. Imagine that. Imagine for a minute that moment in time for Peter when he goes, "I know who you are. You're God." And I think for so many of us today, we have forgotten that moment in time when we recognize Jesus for who he was and who he is. That we have forgotten that the Son is the image of the invisible God. And that actually we have forgotten what that encounter meant to us. And we have become enslaved by tradition, and we have become enslaved in religion, and it has caused us to lose sight of our first love, Jesus Christ. I want to encourage you today to take a moment to remember how you felt on the day that you encountered Jesus Christ for the first time. How did it make you feel? How excited were you? How relieved were you? How grateful were you? And allow that revelation, that gratitude, that understanding and that perception and your relationship with him to be the default setting for the rest of your life. Hey, stay safe. Be blessed.